Good afternoon, everyone. John Turnbull here from Powder Blue Sports, and want to talk again for the second time. I removed the first video because I changed a few of the rules for the NBA greats, so I figured I'd want to put a video up that has the latest and greatest information. So what I am showing is two of the teams that I have, and I'm going to go over two main points. For those of you familiar with the game, you'll be playing just as you would any other baseline basketball game. Somebody had a question about why what's going to happen if you play a team in the three-point era like the 95-96 Bulls against a team that's not in the three-point era like the 70-70 or 70-71 Bucks. Are they going to get penalized by not having arcs on their card? And the simple answer is no. And here's why. As you can see, Milwaukee averages on offense 118 points a game for that season. The Bulls 105.2. Now, granted, the year they came from scored about 13 points, 12 to 13 points more per game. But when it comes to their points per game, those 118 points has to be stuffed into these columns. If you're rolling average rolls on the percentages that you have, it's intended to produce those points plus adding in the calibration points. So just think all 118 points have to be stuffed into these two columns. So they're going to they're going to puff out a little bit more. They're going to be a little bit bigger than a team like the Bulls in the three-point era or any other team in the three-point era who now has three categories to spread fewer points in. So those numbers are going to be less across the board than the ones from the non-three-point era. So those teams not playing in the three-point era aren't going to lose anything point-wise by playing somebody in the three-point era. It's if the rolls are all average, everything's going to even out, and then it's the stuff that'll luck of the dice to see what happens. The other change I made was I originally, and this was a bonehead move on my part, just thinking in my head math-wise, because this is the first time I've done cross-season for basketball. So I'm thinking, okay, these teams are playing each other, they're scoring their points, but if a team's coming from a higher point per game season, that gives them a disadvantage. And I originally had thought that. So that's why I had the teams originally meeting in the middle to perform at a points per game that's in between the two teams that are playing. But then I thought, well, in a perfect world, that would happen if both teams scored nothing but offensive rolls. Therefore, they would be playing in the environment of the season that they're in. So out of 12 rolls, if you're going to get 6 on average that are defensive rolls, you're going to be playing your game, you're going to be playing your team in the era that against the team that you're playing. So, and vice versa for the other team. So that, in essence, bakes in the two teams meeting in the middle. So if you've got that average 6 and 6, then those points, the average points, are going to be more on the opponent's defensive column if they come from a year with the higher points per game. And if the higher team with the higher points per game gets a defensive roll from the other, then they're going to have fewer points on the defensive roll for their score. So those two combined, the blending of the two is what's going to naturally bring those two teams together to create that common ground between the two teams. Now, what you're going to think then is if you've got a team that scores a lot more points than the other team, you're going to want to roll more offenses. And if you're in a team like in this case, like the Bulls, you're going to want to, are you going to want to score more defense? Maybe, because that, therefore you're giving up the chance to shoot your arcs. But that's just the trade-off you're going to have, and that's just the way the dice is going to roll will determine who's going to win the game. So that is why I removed that score or that rule altogether. Gave me one less piece of paper to print out. So it'll make things simpler as to the fact that the TSA that you create, the total score adjustment, is going to be the exact same way it is in the standard game. One other thing that I will mention in this video before I sign off is that these teams are meant to be played against other great teams. I would not play these teams against regular season teams from other single seasons, because these greatest teams, their baseline, their percentages, since this is league adjusted, is based off of the stats from the entire NBA universe. Not necessarily since the beginning, but since the scores went up. So let's take a look at let's see if I've got all-time team stats. There we go. Teams and stat. Maybe I don't have. Okay, here we do. Okay. It looks like I started with the 1954-55 season. They averaged 93 points a game. Actually, I might have started with 55-56 because the first team in the set was the 55-56 Boston Celtics. So if you notice, prior to 1955-56, the average points per game, if you take out this 93, was anywhere from 67 to 84 points a game, which is really low. And then once you start in 55-56, it goes to 99, peaks up to 118, goes back down to 97 back in the mid-2000s, actually down to 94.8 in 2001, and back up to its current level in the massive three-point era and in the low one-teens. So the percentages are all based on that, as far as calculating the league adjustment standards for the greatest teams. So again, don't play these against single season teams. You'll want to play these strictly against each other. I do plan on making other sets, maybe not immediately. I'll let you enjoy this one first, and because I got to do the hockey. I got D2D-Con coming up in less than 3 weeks, so I got a lot to put together for that. And then I've got some college basketball. I still have some scoring sheets to make for that, the bench scoring sheets. And then I need to continue on with the basketball seasons, filling that catalog in, as well as the hockey seasons. I'll be starting a hockey the game out with probably 8 to 10 seasons to start. And then before you know it, it's going to be football season. Now, I got a lot of football seasons in the catalog, but I want to fill them all in. So filling in catalogs of 3 sports and then getting some more college stuff in there. I know the next college basketball set I want to make is 88-89. That'll be coming down the pike probably sometime this summer. So a lot on my plate, but it's fun to do. It's my way of contributing to the community. And I just wanted to come on today. Like I said, I removed the other video, and I wanted to set things straight on exactly what the rules of engagement were, and answer a few questions on the NBA Greatest Team set. I do not have this on the Google Drive yet. I will be putting that up very shortly. It is available on Facebook. And if you want to order a printed set for me, if you don't want to print them out, want to order a printed set for me, send me a message and we can make that happen. So thank you for watching and listening, and have a great day.